Okay, I will back out here. On your screen, you should see the opening dashboard when you log into your account. Logging into Araya is simply using the URL we have decided for Williams Bay, which is at williamsbaysd.araya.com, and then you put a /login, and then a window will pop up to put your user and password in, and then it'll jump to this screen once you logged in. And this opening screen is kind of a dashboard of things to access within Araya. Some other tools it does right away for you is it kind of shows your devices in this middle section here, who's watching this display. In Cedar Rapids, that's me currently, or a month ago on here, but it keeps track. So if you wanted to start sharing this or showing other people, you can see who's viewing it and who's watching it. Where you mainly get into things is the top menu bar, content, schedule, analytics, and management. And I'll work my way backwards, since we will spend a lot of our time in the content area. Under management, this is where you would, if you were to add a new device, a new touchscreen, and that takes place in here. I'm not sure if that's something you'll need to get into, but it's pretty simple, where in this green button you add a new device, you enter the code from the Araya that pops up, and it kind of syncs the content to that device when that happens. We have two devices. One was probably ours here that we initially tested, and then it's the history wall and their IP address. So this is the one that's live, and it says it's online. So,
okay.
Users, this is where you could start to expand things, give different capabilities for users. You can add a new user, name of them, you can have their email address. This is what they use to log in. You assign them a password and then a role. In the role, they can just be a simple viewer, because you can make this a private site where no one can view it unless they can log in, and then you'd assign viewers. That's not how you're set up currently. Right now, your site is able to share with whoever wants to access it, whether it's on their phone or tablet or another computer or another screen in the school. Manager would be giving rights to kind of do all the editing without actually adding or changing anything that would charge or cost, or new widgets, things like that. Admin gives total control to update, change whatever you want the whole account. Any questions about?
Okay, so the manager is able to add content. I'm sorry, I missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the manager does everything except like anything that would change the cost, or
okay,
like changing a lot of the setup things. That's typically a role for anyone that's doing a lot of the editing. Admin gives full rights to the whole account. Admin also do the billing, do that stuff, and get into all that.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't want to. And then in management, we have the account and channels. If Williams Bay was to want to add another set of content, all different on a different screen, maybe for marketing or for student announcements on different TVs, this is where you would add a whole new account, and this is a new paid subscription account on top of the current one. And then accounts, this just kind of summarizes some of the contact information and payment history, and then invoices. Any questions with management?
No.
Okay. Then analytics. We'll run into some analytics here. Analytics is really cool because you can actually track that touchscreen and over the course of time discover who's touching what, where people are going, what's being viewed, what's never being seen. Maybe that helps you adjust the display, change things around. It gives you a sense of how successful the display is, things like that. It shows you clicks and everything going on. And we can expand and export analytics for into spreadsheets and stuff for you, but it keeps track of. Here you can see I'm just clicking through, shows you where people were touching.
So Marco, if you had viewer rights, could you bring this up on your laptop or computer at home and see the same stuff? So let's say Deb is having a history club meeting, and she wanted to talk to some of the alumni about, about the history wall and what we're doing and what we plan on doing. If she gave viewer rights, could she bring that up at a computer and show them what's on the screen, even though she's not on site?
Yeah, actually, it's already set up like that, and that's up and running. You can put that on your laptop, onto your tablet right now, just by simply entering that williamsbaysd.array.com.
Yeah, so I just need to add a link as soon as we start adding a few more things. I add a link to our website, and then people can go to it from there.
Yep. You can share it in a bulletin. You could put it in an email out. That would be a great way. And then that too is all tracked. You'd see where they're all coming from in analytics here and be like, wow, look, that email we just sent out, and we have all these people coming in from wherever. So that's pretty. We had a hospital that didn't think their touchscreen was being used, and we pulled up the analytics, and it had something like 20,000 touch users in the last year that people were playing or moving around on it. So they're very surprised. So that's analytics. Schedule. This is where you can schedule out how the array is set up. You design a presentation. You can set up 10 presentations within Array, but it only plays one at a time. But that presentation can be scheduled. So you can have one presentation that is our history one, and say there's a big event coming in, you just wanted to change that whole front lobby display for that night or something important. You could create that second presentation, set it all up, save it, and then in our calendar here, you could edit the presentation, and you would simply click on here and drop down to say maybe Christmas concert, and you pick your time, your day and time you want it to run, and then at that time the whole screen will change over to your designed Christmas concert page. Any questions about a schedule?
So what we could do is, if like for the winter season, if we wanted the pictures that were flowing through our screen to have them all deal with winter activities, we could do that.
Flowing, because of the depth of your account, you would have to duplicate the whole entire account. It would be better off we would handle that a different way. We create a winter slideshow and a summer slideshow. Right now we have a slideshow running through that if everything else was the same. This would be kind of more like you're just putting up something really totally different or to play something. Maybe there's a big event and you want to do a live streaming YouTube video. You could put that on that screen if there was say a championship title game and people could stand around and watch it.
Oh, okay.
That would maybe if there's a play going on, that's where we could put the marquee for the play, the names and the people that are in it or something like that. Correct? And then just that would show. So it's like a marquee. Yeah,
that would show. It's kind of like changing a whole new set of content out. So.
Okay.
So that's schedule. Then the content is really where everything happens on the creative and layout side. This content drop down, there's presentations, which we'll get into, and that's where you'll find our page touchscreen presentation that was set up. Media library, you click in here, this is the things, content that you're uploading, videos, pictures, all these things that eventually you'll access and bring into the widgets, bring into the page, and move around that way. You can access the media gallery within the editor too, but this gives you a quick way to get into it, maybe delete some you're not using, bring in other pieces and parts. Slideshow, this is an important spot, which I think eventually you may have a lot of these listed in here. And what a slideshow folder does is we populate a folder in here with the images you want for that group. We're talking about sports today, I believe, and say you had specifically football. That with inside sports, they would click on football, and then you'd want a bunch of photos revolving through. This is where you would create. We could do one quick here. A new slideshow, and we would call it football, and create it. Football comes up. Think of this as a folder, and now you want to put slides into here. We click on the slides button, and in here there's currently no slides. We'll pretend this is football, and we'll select the photos we loaded or add new football photos, add to slides, and now they're populating in this folder. And the order you have them in this folder is the order they'll play. This is an easy way to access and make changes and edit. So if you get 5 new football photos, you come into this folder, you load them in, you never have to get into the actual creative area or move them around. They'll just play and run like all the others. Any questions? Oh.
No.
Okay. This is more of the organization of your folders and content that will be playing on a slideshow, and I'll get into how to do a slideshow once we're in the editor. Because what you do is you set up that widget, but the widget needs a folder to populate content, and this is that folder that you put that content in that then goes into the settings you've applied on the screen. And listees, this is an Excel type program. Again, you would put it the widget into the design, but then on the front end here we apply a spreadsheet. And what listees will do is take, say you had a bunch of donors you wanted listed on there, and you had 1,000 donors. Well, it's time consuming to create 100 donors to a page, 10 pages, how to copy and paste the list over. This handles that organization. It'll generate pages and click-throughs automatically for you with one big list, and try to flow them into columns, and gives little automatic links at the bottom to scroll through. I'm not sure if that's going to be a need, but it could come up, and there's a solution for handling long listings of events, or could it maybe be, I don't know, a listing of your past, I don't know what that would, say top athletes for the past 100 years. And then people could click through that page if there was a lot of athletes listed that way.
Okay. And then okay, so let's suppose that you had a list of athletes. Are you saying then that if they click on the athlete, it goes back, it can be linked back to a picture of that athlete?
No, it's simply just
okay.
an
Just
Excel
the
list,
list.
a name list. Sometimes it's used for events. You can put, maybe you had a big long event list of football championships, and that could so people can click through all the years you won, state titles, this and that. It would be a great way to handle. It's automated for you, so you don't have to create all the linking and all. Think of it like a page of a brochure. Once you fill out the page, you got the next page to bring the next 50 names over. The next page, you have to copy the next 50 names over.
Got it.
And where this widget just automatically does that for you.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily if you have that currently in the plan for what we're doing. So presentations. This is where you'll find the presentation. What's running right now is the History Wall Interactive. This inside here includes all the pages, everything that's going on the current display of the wall. This is where you can add a new presentation for, say, a live event feed, a new presentation that would just completely be that new content we talked about that you would schedule in and run for something.
Okay.
The delete here, we've had a client delete here, it comes up. There's also another window to come to confirm deletion. If that was to happen, you would delete your whole entire presentation. So that's something we do not want to ever do and avoid.
That would be correct.
It's happened, so I'm just bringing it up. Within here, there's the edit button, and once I hit edit, we're going to get into our creator. Hit edit. Now we're inside the creator, and on your page will show is what your screen size is, the 1920 by 1080 type page, and it's running a slideshow currently. And at the bottom we have the linking buttons. I'm not going to mess around with this page right now because it's kind of how we like it. The only thing is adding the button to get to activities, and we would already planned the linking buttons, and so I've actually just hidden activities under a square I drew.
Okay.
And I'll show you just kind of how I did that, and that'll kind of show you some of the features going on. I'm going to delete that square. And activities is now there because I actually had it on the template already. But how you can do what Array is unique about is it's just drag and drop and drawing. The top left we have your main tools, what you'll be using. Touch is to create new buttons. Text is to any text box you want to put on the screen. You populate, copy and paste text or type in text. Then you have images, the next button. Video and audio. This is where you would bring in an image from your media gallery, a video you want on screen and size it. You can draw objects, and then we have widgets. I'm going to jump right to drawing objects because I'm going to show you that object I just drew and covered up. But in draw objects, we have a rectangle and a circle. How I did that before was I created a rectangle. You can scale in size however. And I came in and I just kind of drew it on top of the area. And then in all our widgets and anything you put on a screen, we have the feature buttons at the bottom. One is to delete, one is settings, and one is style. Within style, and this applies to anything you put on the screen, the same window box will come up, is the basic style, the text style, the border style. So anything you put on a screen into the layout, you can apply any of these styles to it. Basic style, we have a background color. Right now it's white. We would pick a blue, say. Opacity, we can make it transparent. We can make it solid. In that case, it was solid. We can even, since there's no text, it won't really affect this, but on text blocks that we type, you can change the font sizes all in here. We can add borders and radiuses, like you can make this box down below have curved corners. You can have it have a solid or dotted line around it, and we'll get into that more about like creating buttons to look like buttons and things like that. For this instance, I just wanted that blue one to show you how to cover it up. You can add shadows, animation, and advanced. Animation is how it interacts when people touch on it, and advanced is some different rotations to the piece.
So when you say text, could we then add, if we wanted to, add captions to some of the pictures?
Yeah, you You could do that if they're static on the screen. Text is also, we'll back up here once we get into the text area. I'll show you this actual text box. You just start typing in and putting it where you want. Yes. Right now I'm just creating that box. I wanted to show you just how I did that on the screen. And we'll get into the next level and I can show you some of the other features. So now I hit open up that link from before. To make our update, do we want to make activities live? Probably not today because we still have to populate. The page. So here's kind of how the screen already acts. So, and how I've set it up for making your updates is I have a here, because we talked about having yearbook eventually, and activities. And so how to update your home page, once you have that activity page done, you would go into here, delete this box, and we'll add the activities touch point. So we'll start on the top left, touch. Create a touch point in interactive where it's going to link to another page of content. You would simply select touch. Dialog box comes up, and the first thing you need to do is you need to designate this button you're putting on the screen, this point on the screen, where it's going to take someone. We're going to have it take it to activities because that's our page. I've already set up these pages in the template for you. But you can also add many more pages. Eventually, you may have 50 pages down here to scroll through and decide what this button is, where this button is taking you. Right now, we're going to take it to the activities homepage. And for this instance, I've already put in the template activities button with the font. So our text will be empty. But for this purpose, I'm just going to leave, for this training, activities in there so you can see it would come up. And there's activities. And so right now, this box, this shape here, wherever someone touches within here, will take them to the activities page, which we'll get to. But this is how you create a simple button, drag and drop. Say you had football here, which we'll get into in different things, but activities goes on this area. Now once they click anywhere around here, it'll link to that page. If we were not, I'll step back out and make that blank just to show you, because we already have activities written in the template. All we need to do is have activities, make sure the text is blank, and see where my button went. There it is. It usually applies to the middle of the screen. This box here is now a touch point, and I'm going to simply put it over the area I want to link to. Now whenever someone goes to your home screen right now and touches in this activities, it'll link to our activities page. Question is, okay, where does that activities page happen? On the bottom menu here, we have where it says home. This is our pages navigation. This bottom menu down here kind of runs you through everything going on the page, from copy to paste. It's kind of like an editing tool for the page. Style, you can copy, if you do a style or button to one thing, you can apply it to 5 buttons so they all look and present the same. But mainly the big tool here is the pages. If you click on home, we have these other pages. If we then go to activities, it'll take us to our activities page. And now we're going to set up this page. And once this page is set up, then this is what will come up once they click on that activities button on the home page. Does anyone have any questions about that touch screen?
No. Do you guys understand? I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on this, I think leftover, but here's kind of our template for the activities page. On all the pages, we can set a background, or we can have the image. On the background, I have the background color applied to. So everything's drag and drop. This is an image that I've placed. Make sure that up top, images and video. So I want to put a background image like this. I click here. I can either add this new background image, or here is the same image that I put in. It's this background. I insert it. It comes up on screen. It fills the screen. It's in front of everything. You click on this, we'll have our tools again. Style. One of the style treatments I applied to this was opacity. Okay. Now we're recreating kind of what I had before. The last part is layers. There's a lot of things on these pages once you get touch points and buttons and pieces apart. This one is to set to the back. On the bottom toolbar, we have a layers, some arrows, move up, move down, move up, bring to top. We'll say move to the bottom. So taking that picture I brought in and sent it to the bottom, and we probably no longer need the one I had done previously. So that's kind of the creating pages. I've drawn a box here. I didn't know quite if you had on the left navigation, how many pieces and parts get on the page, but you can just start drawing or making these however big you need to be. If it's like identify a column for, on the left here, we could say, we'll get into text here, say, and this was football. Type it in, or we can make a button, but just clicked on. And we can put that here. Now we're kind of creating a menu, if you want to call it that. And then inside here is where you can populate the message or the content. I guess some of the things you'll probably be doing is images on this page, so we can bring in some images. Say when they come to this page, everything's, again, select, find the corners, put it in. Let's just jump to the front again. And it's kind of like we're just creating our page. Not sure what your pages are. Again, I'm just repeating steps here. Say you wanted this to be faded out. So this style and everything is kind of up to you. You can put it in the background and do this kind of thing. Maybe there was a paragraph here of text and copy. Type it in, paste it in. Inside here, we can, or up top, select it, and we can make it super big. We can bold it, center. So up top is pretty typical fonts, sizes. We have a library of fonts updating on our next release, but this type of thing and moving things around to create your page. Any questions about kind of content design or layout?
No, but so that's the activity page. And if we put football on the side, then that's when you would put the touch over
Exactly.
that, and then that leads us to another page.
Yeah, and for consistency, it could be easier. We can, we'll go ahead and do that. So think of this, they've come from activities. These are all active. So they click activities. They come to this page. What is this page? You can have a message here. You can say, you know, Williamsburg has over 250 activities and have a bunch of photos. And on the left here, we can start having these links if that's where we want to go with it. And let's create one. A new page. We're going to call it football. And now up top, we're going to find football that we created right here. Populates in. We want the text to be football. This is where I would recommend actually applying the text inside the box. So you don't have to do an extra step. There's football. Move football into location. You want to kind of signify this is a touch point. A lot of people are familiar with a button type look. Again, within here we have our features, our style. In style, we'll put a border, a round button, a border style, solid, a little stroke to it, and hit OK. And see how we're creating kind of a button. We can then color that, go back in, maybe we want to add a color. It could be say more of color. You can also make the color transparent or fully solid. Let's see what that kind of works like. We don't like where the football is. We want it kind of centered. We can go back in, and padding is kind of how it will fill in the area. We'll add some padding, again, maybe a little too much, and make a button. So now this is live, or not live, but this is a button set up to get to our football page. If we want to get to the football page, we would go here and we have football, and we would then design the football page. Any questions about creating this button link? Kind of simple. It's there's no coding, which is really nice. You can make it however large this is that's a whole touch area. So when you do create buttons and you have multiple buttons, you will want to make sure that they don't overlap or get too close. Say we had another button we wanted for, what would be another one?
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball.
Could be another sport, basketball or volleyball.
Basketball here. I want to show you the feature we can copy and paste styles. And this will save you for designing setup a lot of time. Basketball, text basketball, hit OK. So it comes up again. This is the button. We want it to match what we currently done for consistency. We click on this button. One of the unique things we have on the bottom menu down at the very bottom here is this eyedrop. It's copy style. So everything that's in that button, you can copy. And if we click on anything else, it's going to apply it. So all that work we did is now just duplicated. Now we have two buttons.
Yeah, that's all right. So that was the eyedrop you said, and then you click on what you click on the item you want.
First, you want to copy what you've done. Hit copy style. Once you touch this, it's copying what you've selected.
Okay.
And now, anything else you touch, say this here. Oh, it just applied that exact same style. This can be done to photos. So we had. It's that window again that I said you can apply to anything, any object. Copy style. Actually, because this is a touch point, it may not translate. Oh, yeah, it did. There you go.
Yeah.
So it saves a lot of steps once you kind of have a button on a page and some photo styles, or if you have shadows on them, you can apply the same shadows to everything, just a few clicks, and work that way.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's get into the other main feature I think you use a lot, which is the slideshow.
Okay.
We've covered putting in touch points. We've covered adding text boxes. Covered the images. And drawing shapes. Drawing shapes. You can. And the last part is widgets. Under widgets, we have all the different fun interactive things that we can add to a screen. And I'll just run through them for you here quickly. Marquee is a scrolling message. You know, football game tonight. And we click on there, we make it, and now we have scrolling text across our screen. And again, we can apply and make this look however big, however font, whatever shadow we want on this text to come. My mouse has the double click. Under widgets, we have time and date, stamp. We can, maybe there's a, I don't know, adding this to the home page or somewhere, but we can just run through all the different widgets. Here's a time and date, style it, text inside that. We want this really big, maybe. There we go. And that's a running clock date. You won't have to do anything to that. That's just going to synchronize. Countdown, this could be unique if you had a countdown, say 30 days until a big event, or 6 hours, 6 days left for something. You can apply this. You can put the text before football game in 6 days, 14 hours, 4 minutes, and 10 seconds. Or do we?
Yep.
We'll start taking off the different things. Up top, you see football game now in 6 days and that many seconds. Oh, football game in 7 days. And what we're doing here, we're going to select what day that is. Looks like on 10/28, you guys, there'll be a football game, and be there. Not bet there. You will be there.
Yeah.
And then what's really cool is at the end you can put a completed message. So once this event takes place, we can you can put something.
Oh, to replay. Okay, so I've seen it for school countdown, and then once the school once they're there, then it's welcome back to school.
Exactly. Totally. Yep. That's exactly
Okay.
how it can work. And there it is, and it'll run and change for you. Under widgets, we're gonna keep working our way down. Slideshow is next. We want to put a slideshow on here, revolving photos. We either rename a new slideshow, or if we've already created one back in that root folder that I initially showed you, we can set it up there either or. We did that football one already, so we're going to bring that one in. This is the widget. We just need to assign where the widget is going to get this media. This media can be a photo, a video, and it'll just play in whatever order, and we'll assign parameters to it. We're selecting that football folder. Transition. On the home page, I had this scrolling horizontal. Let's do a horizontal flip. Say we want that to be 500 milliseconds. That transition speed. So how fast you want to do that transition in a second, 2 seconds. We'll do a slow flip, 1 second. And how long do we want each slide on the screen? We'll do a fast one, say 4 seconds for now. Fit and fill. These are some options for touchscreen. If you have multiple we can turn on swipe. Since you do have a touchscreen, someone can swipe through the images instead of waiting for the show to go. Fit and fill. Fit is it's going to proportionally keep your photo the size and expand it out until it touches one of the edges, whether it's a horizontal top and bottom or left and right. Once it's done that, it'll quit enlarging, and you'll have kind of leftover room, but it won't zoom in or crop. The fill will actually zoom out the whole photo until it entirely fills the space you draw. And so if you have multiple different sizes and shapes of photos and you're concerned about it not filling the area and you want the area totally full, you would pick this option. For historical value, I think fit would be the best value here. We can add captions, and you can have a gallery view. Gallery view will then be at the bottom of our widget that we draw, will populate thumbnails, and then someone can click through the thumbnails.
Okay.
So there are some options to play with. I'll just do what we had, hit OK, and now we have our flipping slideshow. Again, it's pulling those photos that I brought into that folder, in the content folder previously.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Kind of simple, kind of actions going. One thing right now is if you didn't like how this was working, the timing, you'd have to go and recreate that widget and repopulate with those settings. We have in the works a new feature where you'll be able to go in and tweak all those parameters to apply it, and wouldn't have to recreate those steps.
Okay, so right now, if I didn't like that, I have to delete it and start over. Is that what you're saying? I can't go back.
Say, oh, that flipping doesn't quite work for this content. I want more of a fade, and I want them more for 7 seconds. And let's just show you
All right.
fill here. So here's the same one. So what fill does, see if I make it narrow, it's gonna fill the slideshow and crop out everything. So it's gonna kind of cover your whole space you're drawing. That's how fill works.
Okay.
And it's good, but it's gonna be uncentered. So that's why I don't think it'll work quite as well for your historic images.
All right.
And when things are, I'm grabbing and double clicking quick by habit, but when things come to the front and you can't select other parts because we have layers, you can see how many things we've already added to the screen over top. At the bottom here is a layer tool of the toolbar at the very bottom. And there's move to the bottom and parts, so you can move it back to the bottom and select. But there's also inside here this layer button. And if you click that on the screen, we're managing all our layers now. So this is kind of telling you all the pieces and parts on the screen and what order they're in.
Oh, okay.
So this is the background image, and then all the way to this last slideshow I created in the forefront.
Okay. So it goes from the 0 is at the back, and the largest number is at the front.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can also lock those layers, because if it gets really complicated, that helps so that you don't start moving things around you don't want moved around anymore by accident and have to edit or undo.
Okay.
Let's just get back to the widgets and run through. Maybe there's some other features. YouTube, we can pull in direct YouTube videos. If you had YouTube video out there, it's streaming, so you do have to have the internet connection live, and it'll stream that video. So you'd put that URL. You can select a playlist, so you can populate YouTube with a bunch of videos from wherever and play them. ownership of videos. Some may not play because if you're finding a video someone else's video, they may not have added permission to replay, so it may not come up. So those are some things to just try if you find videos. And autoplay and loop is usually turned on for that. So that would be a way to bring in video. If you have your own videos, I would recommend bringing them in the media library and just placing and then put the URL.
Just putting the video right in the media, so that
this is more of a tool for people that when you have YouTube or don't have their own videos, we just want to pull from YouTube. Google Map, we can emulate Google Maps. And different pinpoints. And we're working on more features for that part of it. We're also RSS feeds. This could be different feeds for like news and things like that. I don't know if your website or if you have any other RSS feeds coming in or posting, but you'd put your feed in, you'd pick what you want to do, a slideshow, a marquee, text on the screen, and it would populate just from that feed. You know, like a news feed or a sports feed from a station if it's free or there's paid ones. You'd get that URL and use that.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure that those are things you're putting on
not between you and me, no, I'm not doing that yet.
Yeah. We can put stock chart for Williams Bay. Put that on there. I'm just seeing what else. We have weather. Say your fixed. What's your zip code?
53191.
53191.
19.
All right, 53191.
91.
Yep. Current conditions, forecast, we can turn off or on. However, we'll keep them both on. Hit OK, and now we're populating weather. Looks like it's a partly cloudy day, 44 where you are.
Yep. All right.
Hopefully it's not snowing, otherwise this would be really off.
Yeah. No, we're not. Actually, it's very sunny. I don't know where they get the must be. It's supposed to get cloudy by the end of the day.
Yeah, it's Saturday. Yeah. And then as we work our way down, a QR code, that's that little barcode you can share. It could be it's not widely used in America right now, but over different locations we're at, QR codes are heavily used. Those are those barcodes.
Yeah, right, which takes you to another link, correct?
Yeah. And how it can be used is someone had their phone on your display. You could have this here, and they can put their phone up, capture it, and now they got their link as they walk away of your whole site. That whole Williams Bay sd.array.com, they wouldn't have to remember it that way. They can just scan it. And then we pull from Google Calendar. If you had a calendar events, your current calendar, if it's done in Google, or we can populate it in and export it, and then we can handle a calendar in many different ways and options and features. So we would put the URL in Google calendars. They offer URL. You copy that, and paste that into here. You pick how you want to do that: daily, weekly listings. You want titles on or off from that calendar. When you hit OK, probably won't give me anything here. It'll just populate on here and start feeding that calendar into your display.
Yeah. So, okay, so part of me thinks like the home button should be more very much current event type of thing. And then the other tabs take us into the history of the school. You could kind of make it.
Yep. Right now, the home is always back to the main page that you come up to the screen to.
Mm-hmm.
but I like the thought there of, yeah, you're talking, you could put the things going on. It could be a little board of, yeah, like current events. You could have pictures from some recent events. You can have the clock, the weather, and maybe a calendar on there playing.
Right, and that could be the countdown. You know, there's just different things to me that the other part's nice, but for a day-to-day type of thing, we'd want something a little more interesting or updated.
Yeah, and it would feel kind of current too. That's always a.
I guess that's it. Current would be not that I'm ready to take that on, but that would be in the back of my mind that's probably.
And how you've seen we're setting up, we're all doing feeds for that. So depending on how you do that, it may not be something you actually have to get in and do a lot. It's just that initial setup, and we're pulling all these feeds. So if you already have your calendar for the year out there in a format that can be fed into the display, you're never going to really change that part of it. It's just going to be current, but you're not doing any daily work to that. The daily work could be putting in that new message every day or that week or however, that countdown, that could change. But yeah, some of those dynamic content, we call it, and try to streamline it so that you're not having to do that daily chore, if you want to call that, of update.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would think, because I have to put that on the secretaries, I think. So that may not. With the calendar, I know you linked it to Google Calendar. Right now, our calendar that we're using is through our website. Can that be linked? Or does it need to be put into?
Yeah, usually it depends how they provide that. Like that calendar, can students and parents pull a feed from that and get that calendar, or is that just?
Yes. Actually, they can.
Yeah. So then there's a feed of some sort. So now is it compatible, or how do they send that out? And is that password protected? Is there anything like that on that calendar, or is it public?
It's public.
Okay. So yeah, there's a great possibility it should work. We would just have to test that or see how that's created. But usually that type of thing will work. We've done that for a number of schools.
All right.
Another way to
I will. Yeah.
Another way to handle that calendar is sometimes there's two steps. We can export different versions on the programs. We've had a school that gave us some different options to export it, and then we were to import that into Google Calendar, and we set up kind of its own user for that, and then it's kind of, then we pull that feed and that works. So it's kind of an extra step, but once it was live and active in Google Calendars, pulling from the website feed, we had a link that way to communicate. So we can look at that, and there's probably a way to handle it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me look at as that being my January project. Setting up the web page, because right now they just want content. They really want the history content in there.
And you're
so
kind of on my speaker right now. My tech guys are like,
sorry, that should be better.
You're on speaker here, and our couple tech guys checked out the website. They've already looked at it and said we're good. So.
Oh, awesome. All right.
So lastly here, so once you're working on a page and doing things, we have options in the top right corner: push live, close, and save a draft in this drop-down menu. If we push live right now, what we've done is we'll be activated on the screen in your lobby instantly.
Yes, I don't want that. That's what happened. I don't. Save draft tells me I can come back to it.
You can come back to it. When you reopen this account, this will all be saved, and you get back in and move things around and push. Or if we just hit close, it's going to delete everything we've done today.
All right.
Any questions about the widgets? Or there's lots to them. It's more, there's dialog boxes, and it's kind of. If you have questions, you can always email us, and we can help. Maybe give you a few steps. We also have videos on everything, all our widgets, every one of them, a little 20, 30-second video to help you get through that widget.
Okay.
Those are on YouTube.
Yeah, that shouldn't, no,
Yeah.
it's, if I figured out our website, this is so much more user-friendly than that is. Yeah, so I just create the pages and the links. Now, I'm just double checking on the pages.
Okay.
So creating the page, okay. So right now on our website, we have history, and you created some pages for us.
So yeah, right now, this is kind of what we have. I have 2 boxes hiding these links currently.
Correct. Right. So I would unhide those.
Yeah.
What you're saying, I would unhide them, and then I'm going to start creating the next page, which is there.
It is. It's activities.
Correct.
Now that's the home page for activities. Yeah. So we hit save is what it looked like. If you'd unsave, you'll just have that background like we first came into it.
Right. Okay.
You want,
And
me,
so
you want me to delete all this and we'll start again?
I'm just making sure I have it. Yep.
And then in here, this is the home page for activities, a couple photos, a message about your activities, and then your button to the sections, or maybe it was just football you had right now?
No, we've got a variety of sports.
Sports, music, academics. So you could have those 4 things down the side, or you can put them across the bottom to fill up. Maybe it's a little bigger for people. Sports, the 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
On this page, it's kind of more like a home page, and there's only 4, so it would fill up better. Then you wouldn't have to try to bring in other content. Just have a little message. And then, you would link one of these to then that sports page. For now, though, you said you don't have music, academics, and events, so you probably wouldn't include that and just have one button called sports.
Right. And then the same thing would hold true if once we got to sports, if I then separated it out, it would just be a link from those pages.
Yeah, and they go to sports. We'd have sports here instead of, say, football, and they would come to this page, and you'd have to set the page up here.
Correct. Okay.
Each comes in blank like this. But if you were to do the activities bottom, what we have set up, if you were to select and copy this, if we go to that football page, we paste it. So we're rebuilding that page.
Oh, okay.
You can select everything on that page,
Got it.
put it in, and save it, and it may help to initially create.
When you copy the page, is that just copying the image, or is it also copying the links?
You can, if I didn't select the links, if you select the links, it'll bring all those links too with it.
Okay.
So you'd want to try to get one page done with all the links done, copy it, and start pasting them into other pages. That's soon coming is you'll apply a template, so you'd save out a page and apply that whole page to another page.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, it just reminds me, it's a lot of creating a huge presentation in PowerPoint.
big power.
It's links and
And
Very much.
depending on how many pages and links and things, it's going to, like I said, I don't know how many pages we'll end up with, but yeah, it's going to get pretty in-depth, and maybe there's ways to help control too many pages, like maybe there's ways to combine things, or another thing that linking navigate people, how many times they touch through things, just like a website. They don't tend to keep on going. They want to find a spot and do something on one page. So the more you can include content on pages to help them from being 10 pages deep, that would be a cleaner interaction with them.
All right. Just thinking of how we're gonna,
Okay, I'm just clicking through. So yearbook, I've already set this template up for yearbook. It matches, and this would be the slideshow yearbook here, maybe, or you pick your years, or is it? Yeah, how does it go that way? I think history. Here's what we currently have. So the slideshow, like I've shown, text is copied in, pasted in, and then a button to continue to the history page 2. On these, once you do have that activities page set up, you can remove this box again. That's there, and you draw in the touch point for activities. Put that over here to activate it.
yeah.
And then it'll take you to all those pages that you're doing. So you want to make sure all the pages have all the links back and forth activated once they're published.
So, okay, let's say I set up several pages and want to check the links. That I can do that right there, right? Before
Yeah. So in the bottom corner here, you have this here. You can do that in here. I like to do it on another screen if you wanted to open another window in Google or in Chrome and type in your URL and just click through with your mouse.
Okay. Okay.
Like I would say, bring in a new screen. WilliamsBaySchoolToTradeRay.com. It's going to come up, and I would start clicking through and trying my links that way.
Even though it hasn't gone active, I can do that?
Sorry, no, that would be active. Yes, you're correct. Down here, we do have a link button. Follow the link, and we would follow the page.
Follow the link. Okay.
Follow the link.
That's what I needed. Follow.
Yeah. Test.
All right. You'll still probably get phone calls from me. Emails.
No, yeah, it's the interactive side will. It does take a bit to get the hang of, but it's kind of a lot of repetition. So once you start doing it, it becomes really a lot more efficient at it. And especially if you're repeating a lot of things, the slideshows, and we have all these buttons already designed out. It's copying those styles, applying them, and off you go.
All right. Okay. All right. So I know you've told me our website. Can you send me that link so I just have it with the other stuff? So like if I'm home, I can just click on it.
The Williams Bay SD.array.com.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my head.
Okay.
Because I have because then I would just log in from there. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'm going to exit out here. It'll delete everything I've.
Yep, that's fine.
That's fine. That's the page we're at. Just to go over, that's where we were in under content. Again, that slideshow folder where we brought in that widget. We were accessing these folders. So you would have a number of folders here with photos in, and just apply those into that widget. We selected the football folder, so anything in here was what was playing. Those two slides played. Another nice feature within here, I don't think I covered, is we can then apply transitions to each photo here. Maybe one photo you wanted on for 10 seconds, the other 4 seconds. Video, it will run the whole video entirely until it's over and then play the next slide or the next video or loop back. In management, users,
That's me.
there was deactivated for some reason. Update user. Okay, you should be live. Do you? I could send you that too with it.
Okay.
And here you can add more users. I think I covered a lot of it. Any other questions? I do
No,
recommend kind of having a plan for your content, like before you get in Araya, and that way it makes it easier where things are going or how much root stuff you're bringing in, and less moving things around, I guess is a better way to put it. So trying to maybe come up with this architect for the site, how it's going to work, where the pages are, what folders you're going to need, slideshow folders, and you can start setting all those up too to organize your content.
Okay. All right. Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay.
The other two had to leave, so I'm back by myself, but that was good. And they have a good understanding of it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm still recording this. So when I stop this, it takes a little while to export out, but it'll be a YouTube video. I can share that link with you, and then you can watch this back and review it however accordingly.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time very much.
Yeah, and do let us, if you have questions, call or email, and we can. It is at first going to be, kind of not daunting, but okay, how do we do that again and this? And, but I think once you're into it enough, and if for the goal of this, I think you'll be in here a lot, that you'll get pretty efficient at it.
Okay.
Feel
All
comfortable
right.
with it, or you?
What was
You feel comfortable now, or you
Yeah,
like?
yes, I think I'm all right. I
Yeah.
will. It's just getting them to organize the pictures for me. Getting the people involved, Dr. Anderson and Deb, to understand that I need the pictures organized. I can upload them and I can move them, but they need to work on the organizational piece.
Yeah, that's that whole idea of that. There's a lot the goals to this, and we've, all the pieces and parts and the outline was like, wow, that's pretty involved. And
Yeah.
is where analytics will help is you do all this work and you find no one is ever going 10 pages deep to see all that stuff. Maybe they do, that's great. If not, then you can at least gauge, okay, we don't need to do that for everyone. We need to kind of scale back and have everything more up front if you want to. That could help too.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to start out with, they've got their 4 areas, and then doing a little under each of those areas, that might give them a better idea of where people are going.
Yeah.
Let's get a broad rather than small. I think we need to go broad first, and then we can tweak it from there maybe.
Yeah, if you were to say, okay, let's pick our 10 photos for each of those 4 sections, copy about each, and maybe highlights, from each. Yeah.
I think that might be the better way to go at this point, and then they can see what people are doing and getting it out there on the website to see what people are looking at.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. I got another, I do have a job.
Yeah, I'll end this session here and get you some emails with the links and login, and then eventually the link to this training. So.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Have a great
Have a
Friday.
nice afternoon. All right. Bye.